Australian all-rounder Mitchell Marsh silences doubters with century against England. Australian all-rounder Mitchell Marsh silences doubters with century against England. Mitchell Marsh celebrates his maiden Test century at the Waka. Australia all-rounder Mitch Marsh has silenced the knockers with a maiden Test century during the Ashes clash with England at the Waka ground. Marsh was chosen for the third Test ahead of Victorian Peter Handscomb, and the decision was questioned after the Wasps skipper failed to fire with the ball in England's first innings. Former ODI paceman Brett Gives said Marsh simply shouldn't have been picked because he wasn't among the best 6 batsmen in Australia, or among the top 30 bowlers in the country. But Marsh answered his critics on Saturday with his highest Test score, surpassing the 87 he made during his second Test in 2014 against Pakistan. Marsh brought up his 131-ball century with his 17th boundary. On reaching the ton, Marsh was full of emotion, embracing the applause from the crowd with both arms in the air before giving his skipper Steve Smith a big hug. Marsh, who went to tea unbeaten on 100, strode out to the crease during the morning session after his older brother Shaun Marsh had departed for 28. The 26-year-old made a somewhat nervous start and some of his flighty shots only narrowly went wide of fielders. He was also lucky that his inside edge off the bowling of James Anderson missed his stumps. But Marsh slowly worked his way into the contest, with his cover drive off Stuart Broad the pick of his early shots as his score moved to 18. With Smith in imperious form at the other end, Marsh started racking up the boundaries himself, bringing up his half-century midway through day 3. Marsh's confidence continued to grow, and his shots reflected his mood. Shortly before tea, Smith and Marsh took Australia's score past England's first innings total of 403. The pair's partnership had grown to 154 by this stage, and England looked bereft of answers. Marsh started the domestic season as a batsman, cracking scores of 124, 67-0 and 80-0 during the one-day competition, and producing Sheffield Shield scores of 95 and 141. He only returned to bowling duties in late November, putting doubt as to whether he was ready for Test action. Selectors opted to pick Marsh for the third Test in the fear the Waka deck could end up becoming a batsman's paradise. And although Marsh returned underwhelming figures of 0.43 off 9 overs, his presence was vital in giving Mitchell Starc, Pat Cummins and Josh Hazlewood a rest at crucial times. Australia were 421 for a tea with Smith unbeaten on 182.